There's a type in the top 2 that breaks out of a rut so quietly, most people don't even realize they've done it until the rut is already behind them. We're ranking all 16 MBTI types by who escapes fastest, based on 3 things: how quickly they recognize they're stuck, how clearly they find their turning point, and whether the momentum actually lasts once they're moving. Drop your type below. Beginning our list at number 16, ISFJ. For ISFJs, the rut is comfortable enough that it doesn't always register as a rut. Routine, consistency, and stability are things ISFJs genuinely value, which means stagnation can wear the costume of security for a long time before anyone sounds the alarm. I know things have felt the same for a while, but at least it's stable. The ignition is slow because the discomfort threshold is high. ISFJs need the gap between where they are and where they want to become undeniable before they move. And they need internal justification for the change that's thorough enough to feel safe. That process takes time, more than almost any other type on this list. Number 15, INFP. INFPs feel the rut immediately and deeply. The awareness isn't the problem. What's slow is the readiness to move, because INFPs won't break out of a rut until the exit feels authentic. I know I need to change something. I'm just waiting until it feels right. That standard, waiting until it feels right, can extend the rut significantly. INFPs don't respond well to forced momentum or arbitrary action. The turning point has to emerge genuinely, which it eventually does. It just takes longer than their awareness of the problem would suggest.
Number 14, ISFP. ISFPs know when something's wrong. They feel it in the quality of their daily experience before they can articulate it. But they move only when the situation has clearly crossed a values line. This doesn't feel like me anymore. Something has to change. That values threshold is the turning point, and once it's crossed, ISFPs move with surprising decisiveness. The delay is in getting to that threshold. Until the rut is clearly violating something they care about at a core level, they'll sit in discomfort longer than they should. Number 13, ISTJ. ISTJs are highly functional inside established systems, which creates a specific blind spot when the system itself is the problem. A rut that looks like structure, routine, and consistency is very hard for an ISTJ to identify as stagnation. They're doing the things just aren't working anymore. I've been following the same process. I'm not sure why the results have changed. Once an ISTJ identifies that the routine is the problem and not the solution, their exit is methodical and sustained. Getting to that recognition is what takes time. Number 12, ENFJ. ENFJs get stuck in ruts that are built around other people's needs, and breaking out requires them to prioritize themselves in a way that doesn't come naturally. I know I need to make a change, but this isn't a great time for everyone around me. The rut persists because leaving it feels like abandoning someone. ENFJs are waiting for relational permission that nobody is going to give them. Ignition is slow for that reason. Not lack of awareness, not lack of drive, but a genuine sense that their own momentum has to wait until the people around them are okay first.
Number 11, INFJ. INFJs are deeply aware that they're stuck. They can describe the rut with precision, its origins, its patterns, what it's costing them, and what would probably need to shift to exit it. The bottleneck is acting before the analysis is complete. I understand exactly why I'm stuck. I'm still working out the best way to approach the exit. The NI introverted intuition loop keeps running, searching for the perfect entry point into the new trajectory, while the rut continues. The insight is excellent. The gap between insight and movement is where INFJs lose significant ground on this list. Quick note before we get into the top half. The type at number 2 still hasn't been named. It's not loud, it's not motivational, it doesn't make announcements. It just stops doing the thing that wasn't working. And that's it. Keep watching. Number 10, ESFJ. ESFJs are relationally embedded, which means their momentum is relationally dependent. When the people around them are energized and moving, ESFJs move with them.
When the social environment is stagnant, getting out on their own is harder. I've been wanting to make a change, but no one around me seems ready for it either. The turning point for an ESFJ usually comes through social disruption, a conversation, a new connection, a shift in their community. Once that external ignition happens, momentum builds fast. Without it, the rut can persist well past the point where they know they need to move.
Number 9. INTP. INTPs are intellectually restless enough to feel a rut almost immediately. The moment stimulation drops below a certain threshold, they know something's wrong. The gap is between knowing and doing. I've already identified the problem, modeled 3 solutions, and ranked them by effectiveness. I'm going to start on that soon. Ignition is the bottleneck. INTPs can spend significant time in high-quality analysis of a rut they haven't actually left yet. Once they do move, the direction is usually well chosen and sustainable. Getting to the first step is the work. Number 8. ENFP. ENFPs ignite fast. A new idea, a conversation, a sudden reframe of the situation is enough to break the stagnation immediately. Wait, what if I just completely change direction? Why haven't I done this yet? The ignition is real, and the early momentum is genuine. Sustainability is the weak point. ENFPs can break out of one rut and slide into a different one when the initial enthusiasm fades. The turning point arrives quickly. What it produces depends heavily on whether the new direction has enough structure underneath the energy to keep going. Number 7. ENTP. ENTPs break out of ruts the moment something more interesting appears, which happens frequently because ENTPs find most things interesting. I've already moved on. I'm not sure why everyone else is still talking about the old thing. Fast ignition, unpredictable direction. The momentum lasts exactly as long as the novelty does, which means ENTPs can find themselves in a new rut surprisingly quickly after a fast exit from the last one. The escape velocity is real. The sustained trajectory is less reliable. Number 6. ESTJ. ESTJs are systematic enough that once they've identified the rut, the exit is organized and efficient. They're not going to sit in stagnation indefinitely. That conflicts too directly with their need for productivity and visible progress. This system isn't producing results anymore. Time to restructure. What distinguishes ESTJs from the types below them is the momentum sustainability. Once they're moving, they stay moving. The new direction gets structured, tracked, and held accountable in a way that prevents the same rut from forming again. The slight delay is at the recognition stage. ESTJs can occasionally mistake a low-output routine for a discipline problem rather than a direction problem, which adds time before the real turning point arrives. Now we're in the top 5. From here, the turning point isn't something that happens to these types. It's something they create, deliberately, quickly, and with enough force to keep moving afterward. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. We do this every week. Number 5. INTJ. INTJs don't wait for conditions to improve. They assess the rut, build a plan for the exit, and execute it, usually without announcing any of it. I've identified the problem and restructured my approach. We're moving. The ignition isn't instant. INTJs want a strategic framework before they act. But once the plan is in place, the momentum is among the most sustained on this list. They don't break out of a rut to find themselves in a new one a month later. The exit is deliberate, the new direction is vetted, and the follow-through is systematic. High self-accountability means the momentum doesn't require external fuel to keep going. Number 4. ESFP. ESFPs don't think their way out of a rut, they move their way out. A new environment, a physical change, a different set of sensory inputs, any of these can be enough to break the stagnation immediately. There's no extended deliberation. The discomfort of being stuck is itself enough to trigger action. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't know what's next, but it's not this. The ignition is immediate, and the early momentum is high energy and genuine. What ESFPs occasionally need is a structural anchor once the initial burst of energy starts to settle, something that converts the escape velocity into a sustained new direction, rather than a series of fast exits. Number 3.
ENTJ. ENTJs treat a rut the way they treat any other problem, as something to be solved efficiently with a plan and a timeline. This isn't working. Here's what we're doing instead starting Monday. The ignition is fast once the rut is identified, and the momentum engine that follows is the most systematic on this list below the top two. ENTJs don't just escape, they build. The new trajectory gets resourced, tracked, and optimized until it's producing results. What keeps them from the top spots is the brief planning phase before action. Both types above them are already moving while the ENTJ is still finalizing the exit strategy. Number 2, ISTP. This is the type the intro was hinting at, and here's exactly why they belong here. ISTPs don't announce that they're in a rut. They don't process it extensively, build a framework for the exit, or wait until conditions are right. The moment something stops working, they just stop doing it. That wasn't working, so I stopped. No drama, no transition period, no motivational moment. The pivot happens quietly, immediately, and without needing external validation or a plan in place first. ISTPs are uniquely unbothered by the ambiguity of not knowing what comes next, which removes the primary delay mechanism that keeps most other types stuck. The turning point isn't a moment of clarity. It's just the moment they decided the current direction was no longer worth continuing, and then they changed direction. That's it.
And finally, topping our list at number 1, ESTP. ESTPs take the top spot, and the reason connects directly to how their momentum engine actually works. For most types, breaking out of a rut requires a mental shift first, a decision, a reframe, a plan. ESTPs skip that entirely. Physical action is the thought process. Moving is how they figure out what comes next. I don't know where this is going yet, but staying still wasn't an option. The ignition is the fastest on this list because there's no deliberation phase. Discomfort triggers movement, and movement generates the information that shapes the new direction in real time. This is the SETE, extroverted sensing, extroverted thinking, momentum engine, immediate action that feeds into a system of progress as it goes. What makes ESTPs number 1 isn't just the speed of the exit, it's that the act of moving is itself what creates the momentum. They don't break out of a rut and then build energy. Breaking out is how the energy gets built. That feedback loop, action generating momentum, generating more action, is the most effective rut-breaking mechanism on this list. So where did your type land? Drop it in the comments and be honest. What does your rut actually look like? And what was the specific moment, the turning point, that finally got you moving? And here's the debate. Do you think ignition speed or momentum sustainability matters more for actually escaping a rut for good? Tell us in the comments, because those are two different skills, and your answer probably says a lot about your type. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We do this every week. And remember, getting out of a rut isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just stopping, and then going somewhere else.